Hey guys, it is Forge here and welcome back to another mod review, and today we're going to be covering the Ender Storage mod for Minecraft 1.20.1 NeoForge. And as you can see from this chest here, we can see we're only really dealing with 3 items here, so this mod is quite small, but do not underestimate how useful it is because it's great for moving around items and liquids. And let's go ahead and get started here with the Ender chest. This guy here is made out of 4 blaze rods, an ender pearl, a chest, some wool, any type of wool, and then any of the 2 obsidian or crying obsidian, so you can use these kind of interchangeably. And you'll see if I hover over here, it's got white set to it. Now if I wanted to go ahead and craft one of these but with red wool instead, you'll see it'll have the red on the top, and that is basically the frequency that these guys are operating on. We'll get a little more into that now. So if I go ahead and place one of these down here and another one down here, you'll notice they have the 3 white things on the top, and that is basically the frequency, as I just said. So if I open this guy up, you'll see that guy also opens up here. And also if I go ahead and stick some wool in this one here, it'll show up in this chest here. Now you can change these guys' frequencies in 2 different ways. Obviously the crafting way, as I just showed, and then also just by right clicking on these little bars with individual dyes, and it'll go ahead and change this one to the magenta here. So you can have loads of different combinations of these. And obviously now if I go ahead and open this chest, you'll see there's wool in there, but you'll see this one didn't open and there's no wool in this one because it's on a completely different frequency. So these guys don't really work like their counterparts though in terms of normal ender chests. If I go ahead and dye this to the same frequency, you'll see we can go ahead and actually input things into hoppers and basically transfer them from this chest and pull out of them with a different hopper and get the stuff over here. So these are actually really great ways of transporting items over very long distances. I probably also should mention these guys are also capable of transmitting across dimensions as well. And finally for these guys, if you're on a server, these are open to pretty much any player to access them. So for example, if you were sending wool through these and pulling them out here, pretty much anyone could access this wool and kind of siphon off your ender chests if, you know, they weren't feeling very nice. So if I go ahead and grab myself a diamond and right click here, this will actually change the ender chest to a personal mode, and anything now coming in like this obsidian here won't be accessible to any other player. As you can see, it's got my name right here. And if we come over to this ender chest over here, you'll see it does not contain the same contents despite having the same frequency because it's not set to a personal one. So if we want to go ahead and retrieve the items, then at this end we'll have to put another diamond on here. I should also mention that diamonds and dyes that you use on these guys are actually consumed if you're in survival mode as well. But now you'll see we've got obsidian coming out this end into this hopper. And that should be about it for the ender chest. So let's head into this chest here and talk about the ender tank. And this guy is crafted again with 4 blaze rods, an ender pearl, a cauldron, a piece of wool, and then any of the crying obsidian or obsidian in these 2 slots. And these guys work similarly to the ender chest. They have different frequencies, and that frequency depends how you craft it and also the dyes you apply to it. So now we can go ahead and place 2 of these guys down like so, and we can go ahead and set the frequency to whatever we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and set both of these to red. So now I'm going to go ahead and set up one of these basic fluid tanks and basic mechanical pipes from the mechanism mod. We're not going to really get into these today though. I'm just going to kind of use them as props. So let's go ahead and set these down, and we'll go ahead and configure this to pull out of there. And then if we go ahead and put water into here, you'll see it now has water in this tank and water in this tank. And now if we go ahead and stick another tank at this end over here and another pipe here, you can either set this to pull basically, or you can go ahead and just spin this little dial here by right clicking. Right now it's on input mode, but if we go ahead and set it to output mode, you'll see it'll go ahead and take all the water from within here and go ahead and stick it into this basic fluid tank. And there's not too much more to say about these guys because they do work pretty similarly to the ender chests. But the last thing I should mention is if you just go ahead and right click on this dial, you can go ahead and set these to personal tanks similar to the ender chests again. And the final item here is an ender pouch. And this guy is crafted with 4 blaze powder, 3 leather, any type of wool, and then an ender pearl. And obviously the wool is interchangeable to change the frequency of the ender pouch, but that doesn't really matter too much on this guy. So this guy here basically acts as a handheld ender chest, so we can go ahead and just shift and right click on any ender chest, and it'll go ahead and copy the frequency for you. So if I go ahead and open this guy now, you'll see it opens both of these chests here. And as you can see up top here, it also counts whether it's a personal one or not. And basically what we can do here is we can go ahead and throw an item into this pouch, and it'll go ahead and end up in these chests as well, as they're all linked. And we can go ahead and basically dump items when we're out in the world into our main storage from our inventory. And if you've changed your frequencies around, or you just want to set this bag to a completely different frequency, it's real simple. We can just go ahead and shift right click on a new frequency, and it'll go ahead and swap out from the old one. So I think that about covers everything for this mod today. As I said at the beginning, a real simple mod, but also a really powerful one. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you're interested in more modded content, be sure to check out my Let's Plays. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.